Alrighty, let's head over to some other stories that we didn't get to yesterday and some other stories that popped up today. So here we go, the first one up, and yeah, we got to take this Bengals team real serious, folks. They've got a solid game coming up this week facing the Lions. They really should blow them out, and this should be a big statement game for the Bengals coming off that close, excruciating loss against the Packers, which they really should have won. They really kind of want to get back on top and be like, hey, we are a great team in this league. We deserve to be talked about in the national media. Nobody's really talking about the Bengals as a team. People are talking about Jamar Chase, which rightfully so. The man is getting it done, but we've got to respect the overall team here, and Zach Taylor wants y'all to know. So here we go. Zach Taylor says the Bengals are a team that's, quote, that's going to be reckoned with, and those are some big words already. We'll go in the article to get all the exact words here by Zach Taylor, but yeah, I mean, Bengals minus 3.5 this week on the road seems like a real solid bet right here. But this Bengals team is starting to kind of believe in themselves. And, when you start believing in yourself, when you start to kind of acknowledge, hey, we're one of the better teams, you could potentially kind of flounder coming out of that thought here. So we aren't going to take the Bengals minus 3.5 this week, but we do believe that is still a real solid bet right here because the Bengals theoretically should blow out the Lions. Last two games, real close losses. They're looking for their first win, so I would kind of stay away from betting games that are dealing with the Lions just because they are still searching for their first win, and maybe they cover backdoor like they've been doing kind of all season already. So we still think the Bengals should blow out the Lions, but you couple Zach Taylor's kind of eagerness to be like, hey, we're a real team, where's my respect? We talk about coaches wanting to get respect. John Harbaugh, the head coach for the Ravens, kind of saying a couple of times this season, hey, those were my calls. I was like, hey, Lamar, you want to go for it on fourth down? That makes a big headline. John Harbaugh wants to kind of prove, hey, I'm coaching for my players. This is a great place to play because I listen to my players and all that. And then when, the week after, John Harbaugh, what did he do? What did he say? Oh, I'm blanking on it. Let me go back quickly here. Can I bring it up quickly? He had like 2 back-to-back weeks where he's like, hang on, I want some credit over here. Let me quickly see. The first one, obviously the Lamar Jackson going for it on fourth down. And what was the other one? Damn, I'm blanking, folks. I'm sorry. It was against the Broncos. Was that it? No, I don't think that was it. Alrighty, either way, coaches want credit out here. We get Brandon Stanley all up in the media these last couple weeks. Everybody coming out about how, oh my God, he's such a great head coach because whenever he gets to kind of the press conference and the podium, I mean, his quotes are pretty solid. They are pretty solid. I'm not going to lie, but everybody's on board with Brandon Stanley. So coaches just want the recognition and the credit that they think they deserve. And Zach Taylor is like, hey, I got this Bengals team at 3-2 so far, top of our division for the most part, and I want a little respect out here. So let's get in this article right here and truly see what Zach Taylor is saying about his squad here in Cincinnati and why we should respect them. So here we go. All right, here we go. The Cincinnati Bengals suffered a gut-wrenching overtime loss to the Green Bay Packers after storming back to tie the game late in Week 5, only to watch rookie kicker Evan McPherson miss a couple of field goals late. A ton. It was like 3. Sheesh. In a game viewed as a measuring stick for the Bengals entering the contest, the comeback showed they have playmakers on offense to keep pace with the best, and that's what we noted. We took the Bengals +3 last week. We thought it was great value. It ended up being a push, but, like we've been saying, it was basically a win. They had the field goal opportunity. They missed it. Multiple chances to win the game. So, yes, officially we pushed the bet, but our thinking was right there, and that's all we are looking for here on the show. Obviously, we want to hit our bets. Obviously, nobody Nobody likes to lose money. We get that. But as long as our thinking is right, folks, it is betting. We know there's wonkiness, potential, maybe some insider, shenanigans going around. Nobody can prove it, but that's what everybody says. Oh my goodness. And we even kind of saw it last night when the Eagles went for the 2-point conversion when there was really no reason to, because the line was 6.5. If they don't have that 2-point conversion, they lose by 7, and the Eagles plus 6.5 doesn't hit. So we all know betting, folks. I mean, y'all know how crazy it goes and how kind of potential absurd it can be. So as long as our thinking is on track, that's all we're looking for here. If our bets hit, obviously that's what we're looking for. But as long as our thinking is on track, like it was last week, we loved the Bengals plus 3. It was great value, and they basically should have won the game. The kicker was trash. It happens, folks. It happens all the time. If you bet, it happens all the time, and that's who I'm talking to out there. The people that bet, who know what betting is like. This is what we're trying to do. As long as our thinking is on par, that's what we're striving for here. But let's get back to this article right here. In a game viewed as a measuring stick. Yep. So here we go. Quote here by head coach Zach Taylor, quote, "It was a resilient group that showed through the effort, especially in overtime. They played to that final down. Things just didn't go our way. That's life in the NFL sometimes, truly that. There are plenty of things we have to correct. There are some different mistakes we have not made previously that we made, and there are some things to clean up. But the good news is the resiliency really showed through, and that we're going to be a good team that's going to be reckoned with, and we're going to be in the position to win a lot of games against really good teams like that." So yeah, that's exactly it. I think Zach Taylor puts it exactly right here. They do have that big offense, and I have to apologize to Joe Burrow. One of our kind of preseason predictions here, we did this a couple days before the NFL season started, and we predicted that Joe Burrow would be kind of the worst looking quarterback of last year's draft class in their year twos with Tua and Justin Herbert, but he's truly looking real good. Tua hasn't really played, so obviously we have to put Joe Burrow ahead of him. I still put Justin Herbert above Joe Burrow, but the way Joe Burrow is playing is looking absolutely fantastic, and I truly have to apologize. This was our exact wording. Joe Burrow is going to look the least impressive after year 2 from his draft, and that is already wrong. So maybe it changes in the last 13 weeks here of the season, but so far it's definitely not looking like that, and they've got a 3-2 record heading into week 6, and it's looking real gosh dang good. His connection between him and Jamar Chase is looking extravagant, immaculate, fantastic, and it's winning games, and it's coming back from behind and winning ways. Folks, there's multiple ways to lose in the NFL. There's multiple ways to win in the NFL, and that's what the first couple of weeks early on in the season are. Can we win? Can we win multiple ways? That's why we celebrate the Cardinals for winning all the ways that they do, coming back from behind in the second half, just blowing them out right from the get-go, running, passing, defense, every which way they have found ways to win through the first 5 weeks, and so far this Bengals team is staying in the games, getting on that doorstep of winning games, and once they finally find out how to kind of close out games, and they are really, really close. I mean, they were a field goal away from beating the Packers. If they were able to find a way to win that game, they're good for the rest of the season. So, like Zach Taylor says, this team is going to be a force to truly be reckoned with once they get it truly all together, and they are inches away from that. So we'll see if it happens this week. This could be a little bit of a trap game for the Bengals. Another reason why we are staying away from that game, that pick. Because the Lions are looking for that first win. Folks, they have not won all year long yet. So, in heartbreaking loss after heartbreaking loss, I mean, the Bengals, they just faced a heartbreaking loss, but the Lions did that times 2, and they're looking for their first win at home. So, well, hopefully this Bengals team doesn't overlook this Lions team because they're coming off of a heartbreaking loss against the Packers. They don't get in their head and be like, oh my God, we are a great team right here. We just went toe-to-toe with the Packers and really should have won the game. Hopefully they don't get too big of a head here in this quote here, a little bit of clickbaity. It doesn't really seem like Zach Taylor's like, hey, I want all the attention, I want all the expect. He's, putting it on the guys like, man, oh man, they're showing great resiliency. And then this is where the reckoned quote comes from. We'll say it again, quote, but the good news is the resiliency really showed through, and that we're going to be a team that's going to be reckoned with, once we finally get on track of how we can close out games consistently, then we will truly be reckoned with. He's not saying, hey, we should be reckoned with right now. Even though we lost last week, we should still be reckoned with. That's not what he's saying, and that's absolutely exactly what we want to hear from the man. So I'm loving everything I'm hearing out of Cincinnati. I'm loving everything I'm seeing out of Cincinnati, and I think we have to give this team a lot more credit than it currently has at the current moment. So shout out to this Bengals team. We've got 2 more quotes here, so let's continue on here. Hopefully he continues to win us over and doesn't kind of negate everything that we just said. So here we go. Let's read some lead-ups here. Taylor's 3-2 squad now has a different sort of test on the horizon. They travel to Detroit to face the winless Lions on Sunday. Good teams bury the bad news, even on the road. But the Lions have been feisty, losing on last-second field goals 2 of the past 3 weeks. Taylor knows his team can't come out flat on the road in a game they should win. Oh my goodness. Maybe we should take the Bengals -3.5. I might have to change my picks here. Let's see if he truly wins us over, because now they're talking about this week's game, which we're a little concerned about. But here we go. Win us over, Zach Taylor. What do you got for us? Here we go. Quote, I've got a lot of respect for the Detroit Lions. They've been in about every game they've played. A lot of them have come down to the last second against really good teams. I know what this team is made of. They've got our respect. They've got our attention. They're going to win games this year. We just can't let it start Sunday. Yes, teams rarely go 0-17, 0-16, 0-17 now this season. What was it, like one team in NFL history, the Detroit Lions, went 0-16, and then they also went 1-15, I believe. But yeah, I mean, teams rarely go undefeated, so you're going to win games, and they're gonna come against maybe a surprise. Maybe they go out and beat a good team. They're looking for their first win, but Zach Taylor says, hey, they've got our attention, they've got our respect. We know how they've been losing. We just felt that last week. We kind of know a little bit, so they're not overlooking anything. That's absolutely fantastic. We get one more quote here. Let's read the lead up. The next 4 games will tell a lot about the 2021 Bengals. Road games versus the woeful Lions and Jets are sandwiched around division bouts against the Ravens on the road and the Browns at home. If Cincy is to have a shot at pushing its way into an increasingly tight AFC playoff race, that is truly so, it likely needs to go 3-1 in that stretch. Most importantly, the Bengals can't stub their toe against 2 bad teams. Quote here by Zach Taylor, last quote. Quote, we're a good team, we're a resilient team, we're a physical team, and we're going to be a relentless team. I feel like we've got that relentlessness on defense, we've got the performers on special teams, and we've got the guys that can create enough on offense where we feel really good going into every game that we have an opportunity to win. So they're not taking the, quote, bad teams lightly. They know what they have to accomplish here on this next 4-game kind of stretch here, mostly on the road, but they're going to take it in stride, and they're going to get it going offensively. They feel like they have it down defensively, special teams wise. Just got to clean up some things offensively to put up a little bit more points on the board, and they're ready to start proving that this Bengals team is the real deal. So it's all going to start this week. We won't get too big on the Bengals just quite yet. We'll be ready. We'll be ready when the time comes on Monday. If they blow out the Lions, we're right on this Bengals team, talking them up, celebrating, betting on them, believing in them, breaking them down in our Wednesday film studies, truly looking at what this Bengals team is all about. But they have to go out and accomplish it this Sunday before we start to really do that. So we're loving everything that we're hearing from Zach Taylor. This should not be an overlooked game for them, and we've got a couple of decent couple of minutes before we get into our Week 6 picks, and I think we may do another bonus one. I think we might do another bonus one, folks. I think I'm liking the Bengals minus 3.5. Are we going to be betting the Bengals every single week, folks? I think we might. They're winning me over. They're winning me over, folks, and they should win you over as well. I don't like to toot our own horn here, but we're always kind of like a week or 2 weeks in front of the national media, folks. That's how it is, because we go in depth on every single team, every single player, every single day, every single week. We were right about the Cowboys. About 2 weeks in advance, we put the Cowboys at like number 2 in our power rankings, like week 2. Now Colin Cowherd is finally doing it. Now Stephen A. Smith is finally doing it here. Last week, Stephen A. Smith, I believe, did it. This week, it was Colin Cowherd, but we're like 2 weeks ahead of the curve there. So this is what we do, folks. We're a little bit ahead of the curve, and I think we're going to be a little bit ahead of the curve here on this Bengals team. So go get the value while you can. Bengals minus 3. It may be good. We haven't taken it officially yet, but I'm going to be mulling it over for the rest of the show, folks. I'm very, very close to taking them. So Bengals minus 3.5. Man, oh man, I think I love it. All right.